use what I'm about to tell you and then turn it into what you think might help you as a Stoneborn. One thing you want to think about while you're building in this game is you want to make sure that you kind of plan your stat bundles out before you apply your attribute points. When you're building your talents, right, and you're building your classes, you want to make sure you're kind of planning out these stat bundles. So all of these square icons in your talent tree, these are called stat bundles. As you can see, these give you a bunch of extra attribute points, right? So strength 30, dexterity 10, constitution +5, right? These don't go past the soft cap, right? So say I put in how much is it? That's 30 and that's 40, right? So say I want both of those, and I'm gonna get 70 strength from both of those. But say I get all the way up to 150 strength just by, you know, adding these attribute points in. That will leave 20 strength points that I could have allocated somewhere else while allocating these points. That will leave it just kind of, it just goes away, right? It's not used when you're on your soft cap. Now your soft cap goes, you can raise your soft cap all the way up to 250 via vessel creation, but right now don't worry about that. Just know that everything only goes to 200. Okay, that's your soft cap. Hard cap's 250, and the way to get past 200 is by vessel creation, and we can talk about that after this. So one thing you want to do, and this is across, like, you know, this is across all characters, really, like all classes is in promotions, is one thing you want to do when you're building is you want to look at the promotion for the class that you're going. So for instance, this promotion class Titan, and look at what it gives you, right? So this Titan gives me plus 200 attack power, which is why it's a massive damage, you know, gives you massive damage, right? But then also the promotion also changes some of your abilities, right? So you want to make sure you're getting the abilities that this changes. For instance, Whirlwind here only comes from Arcing Slash, and it's in the combo on the Arcing Slash. So you see Whirlwind right there. So if I didn't pick this up, that entire augmentation would just be wasted. You know what I'm saying? So always look at the promotion before you're building and be like, okay, you know, make sure you get what you're getting. And you know, it also allows you to do extra stuff too. So like I can use axes and maces now because I'm a Titan. That's what these traits do. So Whirlwind causes increased damage and grants a stacking buff per hit, increasing fury regeneration. That's its augmentation, right? Next Slash becomes enabled after using Gore, Colossus Smash, Net Pull, and Cross Gashes while berserking. So think about this. If Next Slash, right? Next Slash executes a bonus attack for 283 damage and becomes enabled after using Berserk. So this ability only happens when you're using your Berserk. Berserk and Next Slash are just the base thing you get for being a Myrmidon, right? These are the two abilities that you get. So if you look at Berserk, right? Berserk automatically it does what we talked about earlier when you're a Titan, right? It negates all of the damage that you would have taken if you know, while Berserk's up. But also, if you also continue to read this, Next Slash, which is only enabled during Berserk, right, also gets reset based on using Gore, Colossus Smash, Net Pull, and Cross Gashes. So in Next Slash is massive damage. So you want to make sure that you're getting these abilities in your talent tree to be able to utilize the reset that this gives you. You want to be able to utilize Next Slash as much as possible because that's literally your biggest, this is your massive damage, right? It's your biggest damaging ability. So, and this is your augmentation to the Berserk that we talked about. So it adds a damage bonus each second for damage done. All damage taken is healed each second, and you cannot drop below 1 health. All prevented damage returns when Berserk ends in the form of a crash. The crash can be mitigated by pulverizing or Raging Bull. We'll talk about that. Okay, so I'm a Titan. I want to be able to get into a fight, fuck shit up, get out before crashing. That's what you got to think about while you're building your Titan. But you want to make sure you're also aware of what resets Next Slash. Okay, so I'm gonna get these two. A good rule of thumb is getting the 2 first stat bundles. A lot of people do this. You don't necessarily have to do this, but it's a good rule of thumb because if you look at this gives me straight up 60 extra strength just right out of the gate, right? which is huge because strength is where my attack power is. And your attack power is just straightly correlated with the amount of damage that you can do. And the attack power will change based on your class. It will change. So if you're a ranger, your attack power is on dexterity, right? Because I'm a myrmidon, my attack power is on strength. Okay. So I want to make sure I get arcing slash because it has that spin to win is what I call it, but it has whirlwind, which has an augmentation because you're a titan, right? Serrated blade. This is another really big damage dealing, but it also increases damage against bleeding targets, right? So a good rule of thumb when you're building your talents is the top is normally always damage, the bottom is normally always like sustain and like tanky shit that you want to do, right? Or like if you're a support character, your support talents will be on the bottom of this and your damage stuff will be on the top. So that's a good rule of thumb too. So if you want to like kind of focus on damage, just kind of maybe focus on the top part of the talent tree rather than the bottom. But that doesn't mean you can't take things on the bottom. Okay. How much of this tree can you cover roughly once leveled? You only get 15 points. You only get 15. You can only select 15 things in the entire tree. So I'm going to get both of these stat bundles, arcing slash, serrated blade, ferocity, opportunist, right? Opportunist grants 10% physical armor penetration, which is always good. You always want that. Scent of blood applies a stacking 5% movement speed modifier for 8 seconds each time you attack a bleeding target, stacks up to 5 times. I'm not sure if I want to get that yet. We'll see. I'm gonna go Colossus Smash, which gives me this gives me like a big movement ability, and remember that also resets my neck slash, right? So having that isn't, well, you can't not take that. You have to take that. I'm gonna get Titan. Titan passive, right? So normally what happens is once you take your promotion class, you normally take these two. There's some classes where you don't take both of these. On a Titan, there's literally no reason not to. You want the passive for Titan, and if you don't take Pulverize, you literally can't play your class. So you have to take Pulverize. There's just like no way around it. And then you need Bloodthirst. Okay, so that way you can now unlock your domain. So now I have 3 points available still, and I want to be able to get Cast Net. Cast Net is an ability that allows you to be able to literally throw a net out, and you hit the button again and it pulls people towards you. And if you remember, it also resets your neck slash. So to get to Cast Net, I can either take Furious Slash, or I can take Demolish Armor, or I can take a Minor Discipline slot. So you start off with 2 minor disciplines. I want this third one. So I'm going to take that extra minor discipline slot. I'm going to take Cast Net. And that's basically the build done. Okay. So this is the next like decision you have to make whenever you're building is your domain. Okay. Domains are a way for you to be able to unlock other abilities, other passives, other actives, right? Through disciplines. So if you look in your discipline tab inside of your character, you have major, exploration, and minor disciplines. Major disciplines are like normally big active abilities that really help with your build. Minors are normally passives. You can get some of them are active abilities, but the majority of them are just passives. Explorations are think of that like professions and other MMOs, like, you know, I'm going to be a woodworker, or I'm going to be a logger, or, you know, stuff like that. So you don't worry about exploration at this point. So this is the last kind of decision you're making as you're building, and you want to choose your domain, because what this allows you to do is choose different majors and minors based on the domain that you took. And the way to know what major and minors you're allowed to get based on the domain that you choose is you hit this Cropedia button. This Cropedia button will open up this UI thing. You come over here and you click on domain, and then you want to check, okay, so I have access to battle domain. I'm going to click on this battle tab, and now I'm going to read these majors. These are all the majors and minors that I'm going to have access to because I went battle. For instance, really good battle domains right now are Paragon and Scrapper. Hellraiser is really good too right now because of Pincushion. But you want to kind of like make this decision on your own, right? You kind of want to like determine what domain you want based on how you want to play. Right. I might go battle because I like Paragon and Scrapper. I think that's good. But if you think about it, you don't necessarily need Paragon because Paragon gives you this rehabilitation, which is a heal. But you don't necessarily need that if you never crash. So that's one option. You want to read through these and be like, okay, which one do I want? And then War. So you come over here, you come into the Crowpedia, you click on War. You're like, okay, well, what do I got in War here? There's that Hellraiser again, right? Critical dodge. That's pretty decent because you can reset your dodge, but then again, it only happens every 30 seconds. Spirit Whip makes your auto attacks hit multiple people. And then Wind is fun because Wind gives you Freedom Fighter, which gives you a free action that allows you to be CC immune. But then also you can get Windlord, which gives you Pursuit, so you can zoom. This part problem, choosing your domain. This is really a you thing, brother. Right? I could tell you and be like, all right, dude, this is what you should do, but you choose what works best for you. Okay? You choose what domain works best for you. Look at the majors and the minors, determine what works best for you, and then go that. And then you'll buy your disciplines after you choose the domain. And then one thing you also need to do is make sure you allocate all your points, right? So I'm going to allocate all my I'm going to max out my main attack power stat, which is strength, so I can get as much attack power as possible. And then I'm going to max out con, so I have more health. You can also, or not max out con, but I'm going to put a lot into con, so I have more health. Or I could do dexterity if I wanted to do big crits, or have more crits, and then intelligence would allow me to do big crits, but I'm bad, so I'm definitely going to do con. Hopefully that made sense, problem. Ask me anything you didn't understand throughout that. I got you. Hopefully that was helpful.